Rhodesia is a historical region in southern Africa whose formal boundaries evolved between the 1890s and 1980. Demarcated and named by the British South Africa Company, which governed it until the 1920s, it thereafter saw administration by various authorities. It was bisected by a natural border, the Zambezi. The territory to the north of the Zambezi was officially designated Northern Rhodesia by the company, and has been Zambia since 1964. That to the south, which the company dubbed Southern Rhodesia, became Zimbabwe in 1980. Northern and Southern Rhodesia were sometimes informally called the Rhodesias. The term Rhodesia was first used to refer to the region by white settlers in the 1890s who informally named the new home after Cecil Rhodes, the company's founder and managing director. It was used in newspapers from 1891 and was made official by the company in 1895. To confuse matters, Southern Rhodesia, which became a self-governing colony of the United Kingdom in 1923, referred to itself simply as Rhodesia from 1964 to 1979, and in 1965 unilaterally declared independence under that name. It thereafter briefly renamed itself Zimbabwe Rhodesia in 1979. The usage of the term Rhodesia to refer to the historical region fell from prominence after Northern Rhodesia became Zambia in 1964. For then until 1980, Rhodesia commonly referred to Southern Rhodesia alone. Since 1980 the term has not been in general use, aside from in a historical context. Etymology: when whites settled what became Southern Rhodesia in 1890, and when the British South Africa Company was chartered to administer Northwestern Rhodesia and Northeastern Rhodesia, it was not under those names but the names of the parts, Mashonaland, Matabeleland, Barrowsland, and so on. The territories were initially collectively referred to as Zambezia, Charterland, or the BSAC territories. Rhodesia was used informally by the settlers from the start of white settlement, and was common enough usage for newspapers to start using it in articles in 1891. In 1892 it was used for the name of the first newspaper in Salisbury, the Rhodesia Herald. The BSAC officially adopted the name Rhodesia in May 1895, and the British government followed in 1898. It is not clear why the name should have been pronounced with the emphasis on the second rather than the first syllable. Robert Blake comments, but this appears to have been the custom from the beginning and it never changed. The first official use of Rhodesia was actually for a boma on Lake Mweru, established in 1892 near the mouth of the Kalungwishi River under the authority of Alfred Sharp, the British Commissioner of the British Central Africa Protectorate in Nyasaland. After Rhodesia became the official name of the territories in 1895, the boma's name was changed to Kalungwishi. It was closed some years later, although Northern Rhodesia was not an official name until 1911 when Barotseland, Northwestern Rhodesia and Northeastern Rhodesia were combined. The name was used informally from 1895 onwards when referring to those two territories collectively. History: present-day Zambia, Northwestern Rhodesia, British South Africa Company administered, 1890. Northwestern Rhodesia and Northeastern Rhodesia, Protectorates, 1893. Northeastern Rhodesia, BSACO, administered, 1897. Barotseland, Northwestern Rhodesia and Northeastern Rhodesia, amalgamated but administered separately, 1899 to 1911. Northern Rhodesia Protectorate under BSACO, 1911 to 1924. Northern Rhodesia British Protectorate, 1924 to 1953. Federation of Rhodesia and Nyasaland, Territory of Northern Rhodesia, 1953 to 1964. Zambia, independence granted, 1964 onwards. Present-day Zimbabwe, Mashonaland and Matabeland, Bisected, Protectorates, 1888 to 1894. South Zambezi-The, Mashonaland and Matabeland combined, 1894 to 1895. Rhodesia Protectorate combined with North Zambezi-The, 1895 to 1901. Southern Rhodesia, South Zambezi-The separated from Northern Rhodesia, 1901 to 1923. Southern Rhodesia, Bisected. Charter ends British colony, with self-rule, 1923 to 1953. Federation of Rhodesia and Nyasaland, Territory of Southern Rhodesia, retaining self-rule, 1953 to 1963. Southern Rhodesia, Federation dissolved, British colony, retaining self-rule, 1964–1965. Rhodesia, Unilateral Declaration of Independence, unrecognized state, 1965 to 1979. Zimbabwe Rhodesia, internal settlement government, also unrecognized, 1979. Southern Rhodesia, Lancaster House Agreement, temporary British colonial rule, 1979–1980. Zimbabwe, recognized independence granted, 1980 onwards. Public holidays. Public holidays observed in Rhodesia were largely based around milestones in the region's short history. Annual holidays marked various aspects of the arrival of white people to the region during the 1880s and 1890s, as well as the respective unilateral declarations of independence and of republican government. On these days, most businesses and non-essential services closed. A number of Christian holidays were also observed according to custom, in the traditional British manner, and referred to in official documents by name: Christmas Day, for example, or Easter Monday. Bibliography. Public holidays. Rhodesia calls. Salisbury, Rhodesia National Tourist Board, 48, 91. November to December 1972.